observation has given me an opportunity to make my summation, as a matter of fact. One thing that we should not perpetually talk about are failures. We have succeeded also. Despite all the challenges, your state is there. And you are a nuclear power. And despite political volatility in the country, you are trying to build and sustain democracy and a democratic system. So you are there, you're a member of the United Nations. So we must count our successes as well as a nation, because if we talk all the time about our failures, then we would continue to fail. This is the first point. Second is that what I want to say is that I was talking to a gathering of World Affairs Council of Philadelphia. This was in September. And there, talking to them, I said Philadelphia is a very, very prosperous place. Most of you are middle class. There's no poverty here. I don't see any poverty in Philadelphia. And I said that you have the constitutional protection to keep weapons. You buy guns, and you're given these guns or the right to own guns so you can protect your homes. And I say that imagine that you're invaded by 100,000 troops and they conduct raids on your homes, and first they disarm you and then they brutalize you, and they say, if you attack me using a defective weapon or a rod, you're a terrorist. I said, would you endorse that point of view, or would you surrender your weapons? So I said, Kashmiris who are fighting there are no terrorists. I also reminded them that way back in the 18th century, the people of the United States fought a war of independence. And I said that you lionize those heroes and you build their statues in prominent places. And if you recall them, or if an image of those founding fathers flashes in your mind, would you call them terrorists or heroes? And they were speechless. What I'm saying is that you are in a tight place. Somehow right now you are on the wrong side of history, but that doesn't mean that your stand is not just. So, as Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh was saying, that we've done so much in fighting terrorism and de-radicalizing people and shutting down these networks and dismantling all the terrorist infrastructure, and yet we have not been able to share the story with the world. I remember that once I went to Mexico. And Mexico, like us, like any other developing countries, has massive human rights violations. I'm talking about economic, social and cultural rights, or even civil and political rights. But they were smart. In their Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have appointed 50 officials, 50 diplomats, who work full-time on promotion and protection of human rights. So when the world starts criticizing them, they say that, well, we are trying to protect them. And here we have this big cell in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and in all the provincial governments, we have human rights officers. So yes, we have a problem in Pakistan of countering, fighting terrorism, and we have been succeeding, but we have not been able to share this story with the world in a convincing manner. My last point is, and this is very important for me, because what I see is that back in 1947, people had passion and they wanted to build the state. They had no means. Their existence was not assured for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, but they were confident. And talking to an audience yesterday, I said that from 1948 to 1957, they were able to get 12 resolutions from the Security Council despite the hostility of the Soviet Union and despite a very complex strategic environment. And I said, today, you are a nuclear power, and by PPP standard, you are the 24th economy in the world, and by nominal GDP, you're probably the 41st or 42nd economy in the world. But you're not sure of yourself. You doubt yourself too much. You do not have that conviction and that passion that is necessary to build a great state. States are crafted. They are not handed to you on a platter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for passionate response to the questions of our members. I know there were some more questions here, but the President has to go for another engagement. And may I now request our senior Vice Chairman, Ambassador